Right here in our studio. Good evening and welcome to the Evening Rush 90.3 Voice of the People FM. My name is Precious and always a delight to be with you every single evening. And hey, I'm here again. Now, this is where Nigeria's finest conversation takes place every evening. Here we do justice to topical conversations that have been making the round all day. And yes, so we're here to do justice to yet another round of conversation, right? Interesting. We get to entertain Nigerians from across the globe and have them have their say. Very importantly, that's a mandate. That's what we do here. This show is produced by Promise, and hey, I have a very special guest in the house who'll be joining me in the conversation. I just wish I could just leave him a bit and then do my gossip before bringing him back, but I'm just so excited. I want to bring him on right away. So I have Mr. Sheson Okunade. I hope I called that very well with me in the house. Mr. Sheson, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah,
so this is the first time you're joining my show.
Of course, and great to be here.
I'm excited to have you.
Love the vibes also.
Oh, thank you. You've not seen anything. You've not seen anything. This is the beginning. Okay, so Mr. Sheson, Tunde Onokoya has been attempting the Guinness World Record for the longest chess player. He's done about 49 hours already. Even though he's almost throwing up and having health challenges and all that, but he isn't quitting, and for almost 49 hours he's been unbeaten in chess.
I had the opportunity to meet Tunde at a particular program where we're actually talking about out of school children.
Yes,
organized,
which is very passionate about.
Organized by a particular foundation at Marriott Hotel, and he actually challenged me with his approach in bringing kids out of school, out of
the slum,
and bring them back to the limelight. By you never understand the talents deposited in every individual until you have a platform for them to ride, and quite proud of him, and a situation where he will be able to set the record. I was thinking as at last night was already eating 50 something hours.
Well, he's aiming for 58 hours.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw.
So before the end of today, he should be able to hit 58 hours.
So if he's able to do that, I think he has given himself a great feat.
Yes, I pray his health permits him, because body be firewood.
We all encourage him with our prayer, at least to make sure that he gets the right thing. But he's actually doing. The area of focus is where I so much enjoy of looking for an avenue to look at those people that are downtrodden,
absolutely,
that do not even have a hope for the future, and use the game. You never understand that those kids have the potential of playing the chess. Is something that you always want to see with the learned ones, and
it's like an elite game, right?
Yeah,
it's like an elite game,
but it's actually bringing it in the end.
He has some young men, should he here playing chess.
Morocco side. I think the last guy that won that was celebrated in Lagos was from Morocco, and a very young guy that you would doubt that if he can that he can actually do such thing. So kudos to him, and I'm supporting him with my prayer to at least come out and break the record that he set for himself. Interestingly,
he has the likes of Shawari, Davido, all of them in Times Square, New York, cheering him up and encouraging him to, come out successful. I love that team spirit of Nigeria.
That's one thing you can't take away from us, irrespective of the challenges we are faced with. That bonding is always there. Forget whatever it is. Yeah.
So like there's a special love that binds us.
Of course, it's just like this, my brother. I will always say that the political atmosphere, it's what is actually changing the dynamics of things. While we're growing up, I'm sure how we watch TV in each other's apartment. Go. I don't know. Maybe civilization is what is bringing that distinction that you don't want to go to the other place. But when we are out of this country, just speak the language. If you're a Yoruba guy and you're able to say maybe you're even on a call, back home, and you're like, hey, hello. Some say,
Just your accent alone, they know this is Nigerian.
Of course.
Nigerian accent is distinct. You get to pick it from anywhere.
Either it's from the southwest, the southeast, the north. Once it's coming out with that English, you definitely understand.
It should be Nigerian.
This one, my brother. My brother. So when you enter the other pidgin area, they know that is one. I appreciate that bonding that we always and the support we give to one another. and that's why I'm cheering Tunde up to at least come back with something great with the Guinness Book of Record on this.
Absolutely. I'm also wishing him all the best in his bid to Ghana funds about $1 million to help with his quest for, raising children from the slum. And this time around, he's extending it across Africa, not just in Nigeria. I wish him all the best. Lagos, on the hot topic this evening, let's let you straight into it. On the hot topic, Nigeria is a disgrace to the world. In fact, not the world. That's not how he put it. He says Nigeria is a disgrace to the whole world. This is credited to former Defense Chief Danjuma as he lambasts at the present administration. I will look into the conversation. Tinubu clearing PDP's mess. Security has improved in Nigeria. Naira is best performing currency globally. This is according to presidency. We'll move on to other conversations. 3.2 trillion subsidy needed to reverse electricity tariff hike. Hey, this hike, Mr. Sheson, don't worry. Maybe you're in bad Z. That's why you don't understand what's going on.
No, I'm in blue band.
At least not bandless. All right, 7.3 trillion remitted to Federation accounts in 6 months. 7.3 trillion remitted to Federation accounts in 6 months. This is according to the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. So I would also look into that conversation. Moving on, Tinubu deliberately appointed Northerners in key positions. This is according to Ribadu. And then we'll move on to other issues. Kaduna, bandits killed 23 locals in Biriningwari. The locals are human beings, not cows, not sheep, not any kind of animal, but human beings. Bandits, I dare call them terrorists, killed 23 locals in Biriningwari in Kaduna State. I will look into that conversation. But as though that's not enough, 18 people killed as gunmen attack Plateau community. You may just wonder, Plateau State again? So what is this with Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, and killings? Well, we'll look at that conversation too. And hey, Army releases Delta Monarch arrested over soldiers' killings. That's also in the news. We'll also look at that. And then, moving on to others. Unknown gunmen kill Monarch in Taraba. Unknown gunmen, more like faceless gunmen. We don't know them. Kill Monarch in Taraba State. Well, let's go on very quickly. Lawyer asks Kogi Assembly to begin impeachment process against Ododo. All right, so let's move on. All right, so there's this, court discharges acquits ex-AGF Adoke of money laundering. Mr. Sheson, you heard that, Abi? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on very quickly. And ECOWAS earmarks $25 million in 2024 to combat terrorism in Nigeria and other places. And then we'll move on to other conversations just very quickly. All right. Okay, that's about that. Let's just leave it at that. Lagos, these are the conversations I'll be focusing on this evening. This other story is about Kwankwaso, as NNPC's Anie Bonham says, Kwankwaso betrayed my trust. Lagos, these are the hot topics that we have this evening. But as usual, let's quickly go take a quick break. When we come back, we'll begin dissecting these conversations one at a time. Stay with us. This is the Evening Rush 90.3, Voice of the People FM.
Listen to hot critical analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening Rush.
Drug use has been prevalent amongst the youths. What do you think can be done differently?
This is simple. It is because of the way they find themselves. When you engage them in the right direction, when they become productive, the values that shape a society is critical in behavior and controlling what people want to do to earn a living.
About 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 are drug abusers. Spends approximately $15,000 and $30,000 annually on psychotropic drugs and alcoholic beverages, respectively.
the Senate accordingly resolved to mandate the Committee on Drugs and Narcotics, direct the Nigerian Education Research and Development Council to review the Nigerian curriculum for basic and secondary education to include special drug education as a compulsory subject in such schools. Direct the National Universities Commission to make the inclusion of special drug education as a compulsory course in the General Studies program, while the National Orientation Agency and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria should increase the rate of public campaign against drug abuse in Nigeria.
This is Voice of the People.
90.3 FM.
In a world where about 8 billion people are connected by click, there's a new way to get connected. Introducing the all-new VOP FM website, where talk meet innovations. Get ready to be tuned in.
I'm walking the bull. Tired of searching for the perfect station that matches your taste? Look no further. With our all-new easy-to-use website, you can now discover a world of conversations that resonate with you.
Whether you're a fan of news, business, sports, entertainment, or the latest chart-topping jams to soothe your soul, the VOP FM website has got you covered.
It's a one-stop destination for all your cravings.
Experience seamless streaming with our user-friendly interface. Access our website on www.voiceofthepeople.ng from any device, be it your computer,
tablet,
or smartphone, and enjoy uninterrupted talk and news at your fingertips. www.voiceofthepeople.ng.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Now you have a voice.
Join Precious every weekday from Monday to Friday on the Evening Rush. Don't miss it.
All right, Lagos, you are welcome back. It is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's get started with a statement by Danjuma very quickly. So our former Chief of Defense Staff, General Theophilus Y. Danjuma, T.Y. Danjuma, they call him retired, has lambasted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration, over persisting insecurity in the country. Now, Danjuma said that Nigeria's security challenges have got to the point where the trend has made the country become a disgrace to the world and a laughing stock to the international community. The former defense chief, who said this today, Friday, while speaking at the annual Woyo Fishing and Cultural Festival in Ibi local government area of Taraba State, stressed that urgent steps must be taken to address the security challenges facing Nigeria before the country is completely overtaken. Now, it was gathered that, in fact, he said, quoting him now, he says, Nigerian authorities must take urgent measures to redeem the battered image of the country by addressing the security challenges confronting the nation. He emphasized that the level of insecurity in Nigeria has become so bad that nobody, especially foreigners, would be willing to come to the country to invest or visit tourist sites, knowing full well that their security was not guaranteed. According to him, no person or group of persons will want to come to our state or country if we continue to kill and butcher ourselves. Speaking further, he said that the ugly situation in the country required immediate attention of the government, urging that all hands must be on deck in order to put the right pegs in the right holes, not the other way around. Now, those in position, quoting him, he says, those in position of authority must work hard to make the country safe for all Nigerians, including foreigners, before we could attract more and more investors into this country. If we continue to make our roads unsafe for people to move around, our dreams of making Woyo Fishing and Cultural Festival an international festival cannot be achieved. It is sad that Nigeria as a nation has become a laughing stock following the security challenges. Oh, Ogatoko. In fact, he further says, as the security is currently right now, we are a disgrace to the whole world, and therefore we must redeem our image and put our house in order before in order, because right now we have become a laughing stock in the whole world. Mr. Sheson, I'm so sorry I had to start with this conversation, but hey, it's a fresh news. Credited to T.Y. Danjuma. And I think that the reason why he, was speaking very passionately is because of the level of tourist attraction that the Muyo Festival would have attracted or should attract to Nigeria. But unfortunately, for security reasons, that can be the situation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Precious. General T.Y. Danjuma, retired, spoke passionately about the level of insecurity in the country. He's stating the obvious, but I think there are more I would say to it, in the sense that first and foremost is a former chief of defense staff of this country.
Yes.
You ask yourself, what were the structures put down? You see, it's a progressive growth that we should be talking about. And they will always say, if the foundation is wrong, what will the righteous do? If you don't get the foundation right, you cannot start building the castle from up. You must start from down. You ask yourself, what are the basic things that they can be proud of, a structure that they've actually put down, which they can refer the new generation, let me put it that way, to build on. Don't forget, as an individual, a respected military man, he still have the eyes and the ear of the current president. And the issue that we are talking about today is not just starting. I don't think I read about this festival you're talking about in the last 4 or 5 years during the last administration. And I always ask myself, it seems everybody picked up this issue of insecurity. But if you have the current administration...
But I think Danjuma actually spoke to during the past administration. Perhaps not this much, but, you know, you heard his voice a couple of times.
Yeah, maybe once or twice. But talking about the area, because this festival that was actually invited to is an annual thing.
Yes.
That has actually been done. I want to feel that our leaders, if some of us will say it today, they failed us. Some of their failure is what we are actually, trying to see how we can grip ourselves. While they're growing up, a lot of them have access to basic amenities, of which today we cannot be proud of any. A lot of them, not crediting to T.Y. Danjuma alone, but we talk about the older generations of mismanagement. You see, the issue there is when you put an accusing finger to one, it covers practically all of them. Who are the people that they can call to order now to say, while we were there, these are basic things that we're doing. What is going on, guys? What are you doing? There are ways, as you are precious, people you have mentored in this profession, that if you hear of some of the things that are not going right in organizations that they are working for, that you can call them to order and say, these are the ways we feel that you can do it. But I'm not saying so much of that. I love the concluding part of it to say we need to get up and do the right thing. But I've not heard of the right thing to be done. When we are getting up, when you are giving that wake-up call that things are terribly bad, we must get back to shape. He's one of the people that we have confidence in because they passed through that route. As a security man, as a military man who has actually served this country. I think we should see more of some of the solutions that these particular people can adopt. And if they are not following through, at least it will be on record that there are certain advice, there are certain processes set up by the former people who have served this country on the way to actually solve the problem. Because most of the time we come out to say this issue of insecurity border around on the failure of our economy. Because if everybody is engaged, I don't think that the next route that we'll think about is kidnapping. You are talking of terrorism. It started small, but we just turn our deaf ear, close our eyes against some of these ills that has actually metamorphosed into business ventures that people are actually boast of that they are doing out there. But if you ask this current, they will tell you that they are trying a lot. I think I read a story credited to the NSA telling you that a lot of people who are masterminders of some of these terrorism acts have been taken off, and we have minimal. But I still have that to say that there is no day I wake up I don't read about kidnapping or about terrorist attack. I think it's part of the headline.
You will see that.
Yeah,
you definitely. It's
every day.
so sad that almost every day.
Every day, if you don't hear it 2-3 places at least, you talk about a place. So it's really bad. But we keep asking ourselves, the military people that have served this country, it's not all the time. You may not come out to talk. You can put up a right, but one thing about security issue is that you don't bring it out so that you don't expose your secrets to the people that you actually want to catch. But I feel that beyond this casting aspersion or failures of the administration, we should rally around to see how much we can contribute on our part for the security. The security of one is security of all, and that's the problem that we're faced with. Just very few people feel that they are secure, but until you discover that the person that is next to you is actually being attacked or being kidnapped, that's when you know that the level of insecurity is there. But I will always say that is what he has said is obvious, we all know, but we should be talking of solution. I was thinking that from there we can hear maybe 1 or 2 suggestions, not that they can take, not security one, because you don't divert security process or protocol out there because you want to say that. Okay. But talk of other aspects. I feel, as a person who is not a military person, feel that our major problem is economic issue. People have seen this business of kidnapping, terrorism as a venture, and it's because there are no consequences for action. We've had several people that have actually been rescued out of the end of the terrorists and the bandits, but we've not had any of those bandits being captured for one and punished. And what that passed to the younger people is that, well, if they are not punishing them, I think is a viable
because I was going to come to that. Now, a lot of people may have a problem with the choice of words of T.Y. Danjuma, but understanding the fact that he had someone like Kawu Baraje come out sometime in 2022 to confess, more like a confession, that the bandits that you see today are Fulani militias imported into the country by the APC. In fact, he claimed that we brought them in from Mali, from Sierra Leone, from Niger, from other countries to help win the 2015 election. Those were their words. It's on records. I'm sure you would have heard that before.
Of course. So, I read that.
And this administration has not actually denied that with evidence. The administration of the APC generally.
APC,
they are yet to deny that with evidence. I don't know if you have seen any
I've not seen any defense
exactly. And T.Y. Danjuma, someone who is or was the chief of army staff between 1975 to 1978 and a former defense minister during Olusegun Obasanjo's tenure. Do you think that it's he's well within his right to accuse this administration of subtly being complicit in the security situation?
Yeah, of course, he has every right, I must tell you, as a citizen of the country, one, and also as an elder statesman. But I will always say that rather than we coming, attacking, it should be more of solution that we can always provide. He can always hear the ears of the president if he chooses to. Rather than casting this aspersion openly of the failure. We all know, it's known to everybody that this failure, it's all around us.
But while it is known to us, we have situations where we're giving, we're not even calling them terrorists, we're calling them bandits, and we're being asked to negotiate with them. The past administration of Muhammadu Buhari was almost evidentially noticed as negotiating with them. If you look at what transpired within the Kaduna Abuja rail attack, and then you also see a situation where we are giving Boko Haram members integrating them back into the society. And this particular administration has not come to distance itself from that what do they call it, amnesty for Boko Haram members. So is it not also fair for him to continue to call them out so that they would do the needful?
It's fair to call them to order. Like majority of us never supported what the last administration were doing, because we said that people were actually displaced out of their homes to IDP,
and they're still in IDP,
and they are still there.
In fact, some of their communities have been taken over by strangers.
Yeah. So, and all you try to do is to bring in those people that displaced them, empower them. We saw on public domain where majority of them were given vehicles, given generator, asked to set up. Even some were actually integrated into the military. in the last administration. I think you heard about the news of
the one that they said injured killed someone, not even injured, killed someone. And they said that he's not just he's civilian JTF, but he's not pure JTF. What's the difference between why incorporate him into the system in the first place? You see, someone with an ideology.
A lot of people have actually questioned, most especially my lawyer friend, telling me that. Sheson, you see, the way and manner you handle some of these things is not the way to go, in the sense that for me, I want to go the Asian way. Get these people as soon as you're able to apprehend them. It's not an issue of wasting time. You kill them immediately. It's a function of reducing the number, and those that have the intention of going into search, we know that I have to choose between death and life. If I'm able to escape it, fine. If I'm not, and I'm being caught by those people, that is the only way I feel. It's my personal view that we just need to go about this issue of bandit. And I've been asking myself, I think was it last week or early this week, we got the news where the NSA was saying over 1,000 people have actually been rescued from the hand of this bandit. And I asked, I've not heard a single figure of the number of those bandits or terrorists that have actually been captured. Let's even capture them. Those that were actually being, when they go, they say, okay, these are repentant bandits.
We always hear that they surrender
so they
their
surrender
arms.
their arms, and we are incorporating them back into the system. I will always tell you that the first area to get over people is information. Those guys I perceive them more as informants. You see, if you have sophisticated weapon and you don't have information, you may not be able to defeat the war or the crisis ahead of you. But if you have information, it will give you areas where you can maneuver, and the other party that is actually carrying that sophisticated weapon may not be able to get you. So I consider that these people they've infiltrated our system, our environment, our society, and they are the ones that are actually giving information to other people that are actually perpetrating that ill. And that's why, for me, if today you give me opportunity to lead, if you will get hold of those people that are actually, when you go and rescue our children, or more so those that are actually advocating for dialogue with them, all we try to do is to continue to eliminate them one after the other. Those are the consequences that I feel that we need to start perpetrating now. When you kill 1, 2, 3, 4, the next person that want to try it will have a second thought. Sincerely speaking, what T.Y. Danjuma is saying, General T.Y. is correct. It's absolute, because you need to see the way even Nigerians outside the shore of this country, when you tell them you want to travel, they will tell you, why are you going on a suicide mission?
Oh my goodness.
That's the way they perceived it.
Oh, there are Nigerians who have come from abroad and they eventually died because of kidnap or terrorists. And they never get to go back again.
A lot of them will come with the intention of coming to invest back in their father's land. And the information will be, we had that in the southwest, in the south, across the nation. Even at times when I tell my people that, sorry, I'm going even to this part of the state, even in the southwest or southeast, you say, Edmond, are you flying or you want to go by road? I say, nothing is up, that I will go by road. I say, please, we don't have ransom to pay. We don't have this. It's that bad. And it's because you can never predict what will happen. Just this week, we had about attack on Abuja Lokoja Road. Precious, I can tell you before now, I enjoy riding at night. I've left Lagos as late as 8 p.m. I was actually talking of the 90s, not
you can. That's a stunt you don't want to try this period.
No.
You won't want to try that.
I know. Even to move anything past 5 from Lagos to Ibadan, I won't try it. I won't try.
So you mean back in the days when people preferred night travels?
Because the weather is always
more peaceful and traffic.
Peaceful, no traffic. Then the road infrastructure were actually there. Now, if the bandits are not killing you, the road will finish you. These are part of the problem that we are faced with, and we keep saying it. How are you? It's not enough for you to praise yourself. I've said it times with that number. You come out with figures of people that have been rescued. I will ask you, do you know that a lot of guys that were rescued have already formed an opinion in their mind of what they are going to do to be part of those bandits that you are taking it away from. Do you remember that the first set of Chibok girls that were released were saying that they don't actually want to come back to be integrated back with their parents, but they prefer to stay there and enjoy their life because they have the best of life out there? It's to tell you that when these people are being kidnapped or being taken by these bandits, the kind of ideology that they actually, you see, you become you take the people that have adopted you, you'll be at their mercy. By the time they are telling you, do you know this is the reason why we are fighting this cause? Look at what this person have done. Look at what this person, you tell us, and it's true. You start feeling for them. Maybe I should even stay with you and start continuing some of this thing. These are the reasons I will always say, don't even come and tell us that some people have been rescued. Let's avert this problem. Because you can never say a child of a young boy of 7, 8, 9, 10 that was kidnapped or attacked their school or girls. Remember the last one, the ladies, the Chibok girls, all of them they are no more girls. They are now women. 2 kids, 3 kids coming back. And what do you want to say about that? I keep saying that I don't have the statistics. Are they male children that were released to follow those that were actually released recently, or female? Because they can decide to grow the men there that will take over the business from them. I keep saying, let's come into the atmosphere of saying, let's do it first. I will rescue them. Avert that thing so that these people will not be indoctrinated into or lure into it by having compassion of some of the things they are doing. Okay. Sincerely speaking, the level of insecurity, it's high, and we need to do something about it because it's affecting us economically. A secured environment is a prosperous environment. So you do agree with
Danjuma when he says that may not make room for foreign investments?
Definitely, a secured place is a prosperous area because you definitely be attracted to such places to do your business.
All right, awesome. So are you aware that the PDP had its National Working Committee, caucus meeting yesterday?
Yeah.
And it was a success. But one of the things that they did say was, outline the things that this administration isn't doing properly. One of which is, chief of that is insecurity. But then, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has also, responded to that conversation. In fact, they blamed the PDP for castigating them and criticizing them for the nation's deterioration in security. They noted that they are working very hard to improve the security situation. You mentioned it in your statement, but let's just go straight to tell Nigerians exactly what they said. So the presidency stated this in a statement by Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu's media aide. According to the statement, Mr. Tinubu is working to put Nigeria on a solid economic pedestal. The statement reacted to the PDP's accusation that the Tinubu-led administration was trying to entrench a one-party system. In fact, he said, unlike the PDP administration of 16 years, the Tinubu administration has been confronting the problems of our country headlong. The administration is moving for an audacious reset that will firmly put our country on a solid economic pedestal. The results are already showing, contrary to the pessimism and wishes of the PDP leaders. He said, appreciating by almost 50% against the dollar in few weeks. That's what our Naira is doing, and is now the best currency. By the way, it's the best performing currency in the month of April. You should follow the
all over the world.
In the world.
And you ask yourself, how did you get to where we were before?
Bloomberg is saying that we're selling, we're using dollars from our foreign reserve to sustain the Naira, but that's not substantiated because the federal government is not,
I wouldn't even want to go that route, but I keep telling every individual that cares to listen that this administration might credit themselves that they are trying. But you ask yourself the question: you met dollar at 750, and all of a sudden it jumped to 2,000, and you are coming back to 1,000.
It don't be near 750 again. Small.
As at the last count, I was hearing about 1,100.
Yeah, you got to 1,000 a little bit, though. Then you now went up again. Is that going up again?
So you see, part of my problem is sustainability. You see, for businesses to grow, you must be able to have a future plan. I happen to be a financial person, and before now, you have projection of what you can do, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. We always ask you, bring your forecast for 5 years, your cash flow for 5 years. But can you even guarantee what you can do in the next 5 weeks with the fluctuation and inconsistency in some of the things that is actually happening? So for Mr. Bayo Ononuga, he is a great journalist.
He said a lot, he's not done. So I wanted to mention some more things that he said. Apologies. So he said that because the Tinubu administration is doing so well, that's why the IMF looked at it and said, your economy projection is now going to be, moved it from 2.9% to 3.3%, upward. That because of how good you're doing, he reviewed the growth projection of the economy. In fact, they mentioned that, see now, we're doing good road, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, that wasn't open to bidding, that was given, cherry-picked to someone just like that, for whatever interest we do not know. Some call it nepotism. I don't know if you agree with that. And then I said, in fact, they said a lot. They said that, that they are trying to bring down the Boko Haram that PDP installed. That PDP was in their administration that Boko Haram started, and now they're trying their best to bring it down. But then, if you look at the insecurity index in Nigeria, it's not looking like it's actually on a downward slope compared to the PDP's administration. I don't know if you have a different indices.
Yeah, I will always say that, fine, they can attribute the problem to PDP. But part of the promises that they gave to us while they were coming in is to tackle this headlong.
So?
And, for me, I was thinking that after a year, we should be talking about possibly I should be able to drive from here to Kano like I used to do. I drive all the way from Lagos to Abuja. Those days, those years, might take 2 days. You just have a stopover. It's just like having fun. But you ask yourself, how secure are some of these things as we speak? Fine. PDP, through their lagadastical approach, never believed Boko Haram was in existence then. And they've grown in leaps and bounds in such a way that it has become a business venture for a certain set of people to make ends meet, which we are not encouraged. But I feel that they still have a lot to do. I want to wake up a day without micromanaging the media to hear that there is no killing or kidnapping in any part of the country. And gradually we'll now be moving to atmosphere where people can boastfully say that we can sleep with our 2 eyes closed. No one can try that as we speak in any part of the country, because if it is not armed robbers, you'll be talking of kidnappers. Even within the state that you feel that is secure, putting so much pressure on our security agencies of some of the things that they have to do. So Mr. Ononuga is actually saying it because he's part of the administration. You can't cast aspersion on the people that you are actually working for, but much is expected from them, because we can give credit that dollar is coming down, everything, but we still have this to say: food prices are not coming down, because we will always say that as dollar is coming down,
FCCPC is on a tour of supermarkets to ensure that they, stabilize their prices.
How will you go ahead?
They are sealing up people who are not doing that, and they've threatened that anybody who's not bringing down price now that dollar is coming down would, be.
But you see, I have said this that you need to actually investigate very well. Maybe you get into the books of those people before you start challenging them. We all know currently. Things are on the high side. Why? Dollar is down. And I said this why dollar was going on. People are having the misconception. You get a particular pricing within 30 minutes, you had the increase. And they say, why is it on the increase side? You say, don't you know that dollar is on the high side? Now it is. Are you aware that inflation is on the high side? As high as 33% for us. And that's just as given by NBS to tell us that it is. The cost of energy, as we speak currently, has been on the high roof. Majority of the mall that you want to talk about are actually either on band A, or they are actually making use of alternative power supply, considering that
they don't have enough lights,
enough supply. And you know what the cost of diesel is? Just this week we heard about Dangote crashing the brand. But before then,
we're still watching the sustainability of that
that particular thing. So you ask yourself, how many of them? I feel for organization like this, where you have to run 24/7,
you don't want to know. You don't want to know what this organization may
because we have heard, and it's out there, that even people that they have promised 20-hour minimum supply per day are not getting it. It's more of excuses. People keep telling me that they get more of SMS regarding apology of why a particular disco is unable to meet with those particular 20 hours that they have actually promised. So I feel that it's not more of them, praising themselves. Individual will see the impact of what they are doing. Well, everybody knows that dollar has actually come down to 1,100. But part of the things we are saying is, can we go further to have it below where you met the dollar?
Below. That's what you promised us.
Below.
Okay.
And we all gave in. As we speak, are you aware that the removal of subsidy on its own has its impact on the cost of things?
Is it the same subsidy that we hear that we're paying more for subsidy now, or on subsidy now than we were paying before it was removed?
Well, federal government has not come to confirm that.
But you are an accountant. Can you substantiate the reason why we still buy fuel for 600 and something naira?
Yeah,
with the current rate of dollar and the fact that we know that oil is about $90 in international markets.
If you put the two indices that measures the cost
price of markets in international market, price of oil in the international market.
Sincerely speaking, I will tell you that at the back end too, we are still subsidizing for petroleum.
So that means with the whole look of things, it looks like we're subsidizing.
The cost of dollar and the cost of the crude
oil
at the international market price.
The biggest factor.
Because it's earning us more. At least our crude oil account is improving. Because the cost of crude oil in the national market is on the high side.
I'm coming to that
side.
But
revert is the case that as at the time when the dollar was 750, the petrol, when they removed the subsidy, was about 400, and now the price of dollar has increased as high as 1,000. Let me even say 1,100, and the price of crude in the international market is about $90 per barrel. And we are saying that the cost of bringing those things in is actually getting cheaper. I still don't understand the mechanism behind it of saying that we are not paying subsidy, but the federal government is saying that we are not.
So do you think the government is being sincere?
Well, I will leave them to their conscience, but I still don't believe that we are not paying, because
in other words, the government isn't being sincere about this.
That's just of my personal view to say that this is not what we actually bargained for. If you are saying the cost of dollar is on the high side, if and only if we have started refining locally, I can assume.
Okay. Like what Dangote is doing with diesel. Diesel now, AGO now.
And you see the Port Harcourt refinery coming up, the Warri refinery coming up. We can say that, okay, we are not actually exporting those things out. At least the cost of freight of bringing those things in.
But Dangote is importing oil from the US, the one he's using in his refinery.
Yeah, well, it doesn't still matter. At least he wants to be patriotic by giving us the minimum price.
Speaking about subsidies now, the federal government is saying they have to reverse the current Band A tariff hike, that the government will need about 3.12 trillion naira to subsidize electricity for Nigerians. And that means for all this period that they've been subsidizing electricity, perhaps this is how much government has been spending. Now, but the reason why that is a problem to me, the same federal government, through the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, has disclosed that a total sum of 7.3 trillion naira accrued into the Federation account between July and December 2023, since this government took over. So if we just take us like 3.2 trillion naira to subsidize electricity, and we're making this much money because of the same subsidy, why should we not move it, because we're making more profits now? That's what it means. So why shouldn't we move it to subsidize electricity for people, understanding that majority of Nigerians will enjoy the subsidy in electricity more than they enjoy in fuel?
Yeah, Precious, I'm of the advocates to say that every country in the world have one or two things they are subsidizing.
I agree.
I ask myself, what on this part of the world are we subsidizing? And the fact remains that electricity is key for the growth of our nation. But the way and manner this is actually being managed is of great concern to me. First and foremost, I've said I don't have issue increasing the cost of electricity, but we must start at the right place. And what do I mean? You must be able to make the power supply available. let it be available. A lot of people have actually been saying, well, I don't mind to pay this electricity if it's available, because I can tell you that the cost of alternative power supply, it's not cheap at all. Is it the generating set you want to talk about, or the renewable energy where you have to install solar and some other panels? They don't come cheap
at all,
and you cannot guarantee the same way you guarantee the electricity. But I have a problem. If you actually increase the cost without making provision of those things that we need, what value are you actually adding to some of those things? And that's where I actually faulted this. Fine, we have removed subsidy, because I always say that energy is energy, whether it's petrol or electricity. They are both energy costs that you actually recognize in your production cost. But if you're able to make one better than the other, it will be a plus for the manufacturers. A lot of people have actually been saying that we don't mind to pay more, but make the power available. And I faulted NEC, and we've had opportunity to actually engage them on some of these things, to say, fine, you said we are going in the aspect of service, cost reflective stuff, and you put the ban. Are you aware that when you talk of a feeder, it's a mix of both the elites and the less privileged?
Of course, that's what happens with this band A.
So imagine a woman on band A that has been struggling when the power supply, the electricity tariff was less than 50 naira per kilowatt, to even pay 5,000 bill that is actually consuming. So now you are increasing and tripling that particular cost. Where do you expect such?
Because let's even look at the elite, for instance. I know of a business environment that its daily, its monthly utility bill is about 22 million naira. A business environment.
Yeah,
I know that that's very common for most business industrial areas, right? And then with the band A thing, they're paying almost 60 million naira monthly now for electricity. How will they cope in business?
Who will
bear the cost? Because they
will transfer the cost to you and
to the customer. So that's the problem. So how do you not expect them, because dollar is coming down, for them to sell cheaper? How would they do that?
That's why I said when you look at the pendulum.
Times higher. Remember that the tariff increase is by 3.30%.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's 300%. 300.30%. So it's so much.
See, that's why I said when you look at the pendulum at which we are measuring this administration, dollar is coming down, but the cost of operation is really not coming down
at all.
And that's the area that we need to focus on, because we've actually said it that most of the things that we are using are actually being imported. So when you bring them in, how are you able to manage your cost of production, or even actually having those products that you have with you to actually come out in the best way that you should have it? A lot of people, do you know that up till now, are still having staggered work from home? They do 2 days on, 3 days, in the office, 2 days at home. That on its own is impacting on productivity for some manufacturing company. So for me, dollar can come down. Even if dollar comes to 700 that they met it, you look at other indices, other parameters, talked about inflation, talked about cost of the energy cost about logistics, moving from one place to the other. So I want to give kudos to.
But why is this government not looking at making any form of subsidies for its people, understanding now that we have increase in revenue inflow? Based on what's the revenue mobilization
is best known to them. If they cannot even subsidize education, which I consider as a major fulcrum for any development of any nation, then what are we talking about? The issue of electricity and all of that thing. It is when you even developed your people. Do you know a lot of them enjoy free education? Precious, do you still have that operating as we speak? The answer is no. A lot of them did that. And I keep faulting it that if you don't develop if you don't teach them, don't blame them. A lot of people that are supposed to partake in having quality education like they are, a lot of them attribute their success to Power their Zikways. Are they actually walking in line? Some of them will tell you that the Jackon. I'm always proud to say it. People will hear of so much phonetics this day, but I actually went to a public school. a public school in this Lagos, because during the period of Baba Jakonde is compulsory. It's even an issue for, we don't grow up, we never know anything like private school while I was growing up. We only know of boarding school, and I can mention maybe one or two, and we know it's actually for the elites. But we are actually in a public school developed by the government, and we have the best of education that you can talk of. How many of it do we have as we speak currently? A lot of those infrastructure are dilapidated, thanks to the alumnus of some of these schools that are actually giving back to the school. But how much can they do? So I feel that the government just need to go back to the records and set it right. You can't be proud of it that dollar is coming down, but the cost of operation as we speak is really not coming down.
All right, so let's move to insecurity issue now. You've touched a bit of it, but let's just touch a bit further. Now, renewed gunmen attacks in Mangu local government area of Plateau State on Friday have claimed about 18 lives. Today, Friday like this that we're talking, the gunmen attacked the Tilangban community in Mangu local government area of the state, killing 12 people with an additional 6 persons murdered in 4 Bokos communities, along with the university student last night. This is sad. Confirming the incidents, it's disheartening. It's crazy. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm unaware how to exactly react to this, but this is exactly the condition that we are in this country. And of course, same about what happened in Kaduna State. Kaduna State too faced the same issues too of attacks. And one will be wondering, when do we have an end to this? How come most of these attacks happen in hours successfully, unabated? They are not even disturbed, but then we get to hear about it long after the attack, and then months, weeks later, the federal government or the military will tell us, oh, we've apprehended XYZ people have surrendered and we've disarmed them. How about the people who committed these crimes, killed human beings like this? What has been done to them? How many of them did you catch? Where were the security agencies when these things go on? There are too many questions to ask.
I will always react this way, that the major problem we have is the people seems not to have too much confidence in our leaders. Because you ask yourself, the last time that we heard about the kidnap of 260 something people in is it Kaduna or which state, that they came back to refute that no, it's about 100 and something. I did the arithmetic. They said they came with bikes. If you have an average of 3 people with the bike man on the bike, that means you have a minimum of about 40 bikes that will move together. Precious.
Did you see that video of them celebrating the Salah? It was like a carnival. All of bandits.
Are we saying that?
A carnival. So where they are, like a huge crowd like that, they cannot be seen. They are off our radar. Off the military radar.
Precious, if you ask me now, I'll go ask you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. And in the same light, a non-gunman on Thursday killed a third-class chief, Abdul Muttalib Nuhu, at Sensani village in a Gasol local government area of Taraba State. It was gathered that this happened just before the Nwoyo Fishing Festival, cultural festival organized by Taraba State government. The state story states that the Ibis is the hometown of Hamisu Bala, popularly known as Waduma. Wadume, you remember Wadume now? The notorious convicted gunman who was released from prison a few days ago. So the assailants stormed Sensima village at about 9 p.m. on Thursday and headed straight to the palace of the traditional ruler, a few kilometers from Ibi, the venue of the festival. Now, the Taraba State government has, however, assured the people traveling for the event that there's security. So, told them that there's enough security, you don't have a problem. But somebody, a chief of the community has been killed.
Yeah, you see,
killed just like that.
You see, I don't know how we got to this level. The place of our rulers is considered to be sacred place where everybody, are done, and all of a sudden, we now hear when you take off the head, what do you expect the community? The chiefs, the obas, the emirs, these are the people that give direction to what happened in their locality. So take off the head, you kill the head, that environment will be in confusion, because to get leader that will now direct them, that they have actually it will take a little while. And that's what we keep saying. I was thinking that we will not discuss anything relating to say that. Maybe we just say, no, things are improving. But day by day, let's wake up and read tomorrow's papers. You will definitely add about another attack somewhere in the north. And we have said this time with that number. We can't be doing the same thing the same way and expect different results. Can we start empowering the state governors in such a way that we can have state policing? They have security votes that are there. Enough of a governor. The last time the governor of Kaduna rushed to Abuja to go and meet the president. To do what? To come down to your aid when other states are out there for him to even concentrate on. And that's what we're saying, Mr. President. Come out and let's have state and local policing.
Well, for the first time, the federal government is looking towards that.
But we heard that will take another 2 years before they can actually expedite that.
Unfortunately,
we feel that this must have an urgent attention. We should be able to hold our governor. The governor is the CSO of the state. Why is it that if the president is coming, it is not his military apparatus that take the lead? They actually work in synergy. The state provide the security at that point in time to work in collaboration with the federal. So for me, I will always say this, that the state's policing is the way to go, so that the looks and grain of each state. It's not that something will happen here. They will call the DPO. The DPO will call the CP. The CP is waiting for instruction from the IG before they can do something within the state. Things like that cannot work. So if the government are actually serious, we heard that they are actually making the move to do it. How fast can we do this in such a way that we can have our state policing, have local vigilante? Precious, you allude with me that if you go to an estate where they have their private security, at least you feel a sign of relief, rather than the open areas where everybody just move on.
But not these days in Abuja, where criminals get into an estate, secured estate, get into a secured compound inside a secured estate and still kidnap people.
Yeah, happening so much in Abuja. But when you talk of all the states, at least they have not filtrated.
There is a bit of sense of security.
At least sense of security, and those are the basic ones I'm actually using as an example here. What is happening in Abuja? You ask yourself, if the corridor of power is not that secure, what becomes of other states?
Okay.
And that's why we feel that they must address. See, if we are able to have security in this country, there is no need to jump by anywhere. We have the natural resources, we have the human capital that you can talk of in the whole world
to grow the economy. We don't have time again. Let's quickly rush to other issues. So the traditional ruler that was arrested because of the Okwama incident has been released. That incident, he was one of those who were fingered for the killing of 17 soldiers. He's been released, and would you like to chime in on that, or is just let it pass? Because a lot of people are saying, okay, so there's been other places in the country where, bandits or terrorists had killed the military or the police. Why did they not raise them those communities the same way? Why did they not give them the Okwama treatment? Is the difference always the case within the South? As against other parts of the state.
Other parts of the state. We've always actually come up with that sentiment. But I will always say that our traditional rulers to have a lot to say, a lot to do. And that's why someone like me is always advocating for community policing. We know ourselves. While we're growing up, when you see stranger in a particular place, you can quickly call up things and say, this is not happening in our locality before now. What suddenly changed? Call the people. In fact, there are places you go to, you have to go and pay homage to the rulers of that particular area, so that in case anything happens, people are raising alarm. We have strangers that has actually moved in. That is how security is actually being carried out. You know yourselves, and when you see something, you say something, and they act immediately so that they can curtail it. But we are far from this. If you must tell me that he has been released, I'll ask myself, what value would that actually attribute to it? Because while it was there, a lot of atrocity are actually being perpetrated from what we heard.
All right, so let's move to other issues now. Speaking about relief, former AGF has been, of course, acquitted by courts, and people are worried. That is Speaking about Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Mohammed Bello Adoke, remember that he had, some money laundering charges against him to the tune of 300 million naira. And while we're talking about this, I just remember that we still have an accountant general that's, about our 109 million naira is still somewhere, is still.
But the man you're talking about was given a chieftaincy title.
Did you also see the time that he was not feeling too well? That he was, there was
you see, I asked myself, what is the value proposition?
Because I was going to say this. Does this, in any way affect the fight against corruption? If most times people would, EFCC will apprehend people and the case will go the other way, or sometimes even when the court eventually convicts them, sometimes they'll be given pardon, as the case of 2 state governors in the past by Muhammadu Buhari.
To me, we are not just getting it right, and it's actually impacting on our value system. These days, all we care to do is, once you have money, we don't care where you get the money. You'll be celebrated and you can buy your way out in everything you're doing.
So do you think there is no political will in the fight of corruption?
As far as I'm concerned,
there is no sincerity.
I will continue to say that, because the way we need to go about it is that we must put consequences for those they are wrongdoing. Misappropriating our funds.
We're not following that thoroughly.
Well, I've seen instances as young as they are, where you see several state governors being, allegedly accused of misappropriating the funds, and after 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 years, they will come out discharged and acquitted. Even some of them go back into political offices and redirecting us. So what do you say about it? Is it that you did not do your proper investigation before putting up the accusation, or something? There seems to be a gap, and it's about a value proposition.
Now, speaking about misappropriation of fund, the just immediate past governor of Kogi State has been accused of, laundering over 80 million naira, 80 billion naira, I beg your pardon. And as a matter of fact, a lawyer is requesting that, because it's alleged that the present governor Ododo helped, to whisk him away, that that impeachment proceeding should be, should commence against him. Should that be the case?
Precious.
Sir?
I support that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I find it disgraceful, the acts that the current governor of Kogi State put up.
The same governor that said that there is an office of the immediate past governor of the state now.
You see, the way
that's the respect, out of respect now. His
respect for your guy against, bridging justice. I keep asking individual, if you are clean and you are confident of yourself, in the last administration, you see, one thing our politicians forget is that there is always a day of reckoning. I've always say it. We all know the former governor, the immediate past governor of that state, calling himself White Lion, and all of a sudden he's acting as a chicken. Pardon me. Because if you are confident of yourself, you heard what the presidency have said, you heard what the AGF said, make yourself available for questioning. Don't forget, why I'm disappointed in him, we have a lot of governors who have actually been invited. Willie Obiano was invited. I think maybe after 24, he was released. And today, a lot of them out there was actually invited by EFCC, and they will make their position known, and they will discharge them. They will grant them there, and they will ask them to actually be making themselves available. Why the sudden act of you saying that they cannot get hold of you? And a governor is bold enough, as far as I'm concerned, EFCC is assisted, so that you can even have certain things to. It tells us that they are not actually after the growth of the citizen, but after individual of themselves, and that's quite disheartening. So if the lawyer is actually requesting for that, I don't think that governor is actually out there for the interest of the citizen that he promised that he will be leading. You should have just allowed that and face governance. You left and you brought all your security apparatus to whisk your predecessor away. For what? On what basis? Is it that there are no other pressing issues in that particular state? It is quite shameful the way and manner our politicians are actually running this thing. But what do we say? Nigeria na we dey.
All right, Lagos phone lines are open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions. Exactly 4 minutes past the 8 p.m. mark right here in our studio. Phone lines are open. Lagos 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You may like to call us on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp line is 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338, and you can also send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp line. We'll try as much as possible to respond to your messages. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, please, welcome.
Greeting to your analyst there.
Thank you. He can hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
In fact, I want to contribute on the issue of this state policing.
Go ahead, please.
You see, I am from Benue State.
Oh, wow.
And my part of Benue State, where in the local government we have, it's only 2 police stations we have. In the 5 council wards we have only 1 police station, and that police station has only 5 police officers. And last year, something happened. A Fulani man was arrested into the station. And in the night, the one person that was at the counter, that Fulani man overcame the man, killed the police officer, and carried his AK-47 away. So if you look at the way that we are police in this country, we are all these other outskirts of the town, they are too porous. So anything can happen and nobody can hear anything. So that issue of state policing, or if there is if they can organize a good local vigilante, I think this issue of killing will be reduced. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Very sad. Very, very sad. Okay, quite a number of messages. Good evening, Precious. It's Ijeoma Egwuatu from First Act Town, Lagos. T.Y. Danjuma kept quiet under Buhari when hundreds of terrorists on motorcycle invaded Kuje prison and freed over 600 inmates, and Buhari refused to arrest them. Kaduna Abuja train bomb there. They kept quiet. Now, they now know. They are now saying insecurity is worse in Abuja and Nigeria. It's not bad as it was under Buhari. Oh wow. That's what you're saying. Good evening, Precious. APC criticized and reduced PDP to nothing. Now, since 9 years of APC, Nigeria has never known peace. May God save Nigeria from misrule in Jesus' name. Harry, thank you. Amen. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, please. Welcome, sir. Hello?
Are you okay, satellite?
Okay, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Precious.
Sir?
Among the economy of this country, the refinery supposed to be working after dealing with terrorists in the north. If we are not producing any oil in this country.
Hello? Hello? All right, it's unfortunate. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening. Are you there? Yes, good evening. Welcome. Yes, please, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, yeah, we lost you. All right. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, are you there? Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Timothy. Please, I want to... Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
The young man that called you 3 days ago said they are telling you right for the Jew Shaga 55,000. Are you confirmed? Are you true?
But I gave out numbers now. The people I confirmed, I gave out numbers to, they are yet to call me back to confirm it. I'm still waiting for them to confirm. It's only Madam Quality that got back to me. I'm yet to confirm. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let me go back to line messages. Harry Ogada from Bangrove. I took that message from you. Hi, Precious. This is Lukman from Ikeja. Your guest actually hits the nail on its head. We should adopt capital punishment to nip kidnapping and terrorism in the bud. Otherwise, there is no end to this menace. And like your guest also said, good governance will equally reduce those crimes. That's what he's saying. And then here says Nigeria have three major problems: religious fanaticism, tribalism, corruption. Until we solve these problems, Nigeria cannot progress. Do you have others you want to name?
But those are the three cardinal points that he has actually said. We go in.
So
the
you agree
route
with
of,
him?
Yeah, in the area of religion, ethnicity,
Okay.
and the big masquerade called corruption.
Oh, wow. Hello, good evening. Hello. I don't know what's wrong with my phone lines this evening. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, are you there? Okay, all right. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, please. You're welcome. Go ahead. Yes, in Plateau State, yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome. Please help me turn off the volume of your listening device, please. Thank you.
Yes, I'm away from work.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
See, Precious, talking about insecurity in Nigeria and then thinking state police will be the solution. I think we should be careful so that we will not try to solve one problem and create another. Look at what Ododo is doing right now to impede EFCC from carrying out their function just because of the security that he has. So just imagine if he is in charge of state police. So I think better still, regional police will be better.
All right.
Even though the state governors can recruit, and then the regional headquarters will be in charge of orders to those police.
All right.
So that is what I feel. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So yeah, going back to my messages, my message box is so full. Good evening, Precious, and the guest speaker from Pasi from Ijegu. Can we stop discussing of power holders called NEPA? Because in my area, once they bring the light and people want to shout up NEPA, they don't take them again. Light goes off, and it can't be counted as supplying us lights. Or should that be counted as supplying us lights? That's the question you asked. And then this here says, Precious, you are very good in pronouncing Hausa names perfectly because I understand Hausa, but you struggle to pronounce Igbo names very well. Is there something? Is that part of your contribution, Kenechukwu? Well done. I agree. I appreciate you. Precious, DY Danjuma. Okay, yeah, Precious. Okay, all right. I'm coming back to your message, but let me take a few more calls. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Oh dear. Unfortunately, I can't really hear you. I can't really hear some of the WhatsApp calls. It's unfortunate. Precious, T.Y. Danjuma should allow poor people breathe. That's what you said. You know what? Let me see if I can get an alternative way to respond to the WhatsApp calls. Perhaps that's better. All right. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Very quickly. Go ahead, please.
Precious.
Yes.
Precious, good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
Good evening to your guests.
Good evening, sir.
The network providers, now that they know we have our voices rather, they are trying to shut us down from talking.
Sorry.
But they cannot do so. So first of all, let me appreciate you, Precious, for doing justice to all the questions you are able to raise.
Thank you.
And thank your guests for also doing justice to all the questions you raised by providing the answers.
Thank you.
But I want to say, with what has happened now between Yaya Bello and the FCC, it looks like, with all due respect to what Wiki said, that some people will go to court and get court judgments and put it in their pocket. Isn't it funny that a state could just issue, somebody will just run to a state and get a court injunction covering him from being questioned for all the crimes they have committed? So I am now beginning to think this might replicate if we have state police as well. So if the courts, I don't know if your guest can put an answer to this quickly after I finish asking the question. Are they of the same jurisdiction, the state high court and the federal high court? If they are, then I think something is not well there.
All right, thank you.
There has to be a separation of power.
All right,
I am not a lawyer, so I don't know much about that. So I would like to know if your guest has any idea on that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, and good evening.
Thank you so much. Good evening to you. Would you like to react to him very quickly?
Yeah, there are two distinctions, the Federal High Court and the State High Court. But you see, advocating for state policing, I would say this, is bringing security, closer to the people. The unfortunate thing that is currently happening, we the citizen, I keep telling individual, we the citizen are not using the power in our possession against the very few elites that are out there.
Okay.
Because the power is in our hands. But most of the time we feel because they have impoverished us, when the time for us to exercise that which we have is to be carried out, we just do other ways. A lot of people will say the last election they came out to vote, but you ask yourself, what is the percentage of the voters?
Can you help me hold that thought very briefly? Let's attend to this call. Hello, good evening.
Yes, hi dear guest.
Oh,
this is
hi,
John calling.
John. Hi.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In as much as I love your guest, but you people did not answer my question that yesterday.
Which of the questions?
Mr. did not answer when I asked if P2B will go to PDP, I gave my own analysis. When Mr. Darlington said anything can happen, magic can happen in the next 2 years. My question was not answered.
Okay.
However, I have another question for your guest.
Okay.
In as much as I love his analysis, I disagree with him when it comes to creating state police. And the reason why I will disagree with him is because, first of all, I look at the masses itself. We have grown into a perception of free flow of anything can happen, which means we don't even follow our own constitution. Now I'm putting it to the contents. The police officer that is even to governors do not even know their own police constitution and their own law. The citizen does not even know its own law. Holding a normal camera phone to video the police is considered to them as criminology to them. So how would state put that under? I'm talking about the people now going to the governor with the mindset and perception of corruption which is infringed in their mind, because it's clearly now that any governor that goes into power, I want to collect the amount of wealth for myself. They will be able to control the police and harm their opposition, because the rule of law has not been put to that test yet. It has not strongly been put to test whereby we can challenge publicly a governor. The only time we tried it to challenge a governor publicly was when Sanwo-Olu was coming into power the second term. You see the way people were asking questions, and he was answering them because he wants to come into power. That is the power of the people, but the people has not recognized the power yet. So I ask again, will that be the fundamentals of saying, okay, give the states the power to the governor for state police? They will use it. They will destroy it rather. And again, I put it to that your caller. I said yesterday that I move a motion. Any man, state governor, local governor, House of Representative or Senate found of corruption, it should be given the death penalty. It should be gone in our constitution. Because when something happened, because it's a mindset thing. When I steal 100 and something billion and I was caught by EFCC and I have to pay only 15 million, the next person that is coming, they say, okay, no, only 15 million, let's make you pay. Okay, make I go do my own too. What is the essence of it? You are giving me the mindset that it is okay to go and steal. Because what I'm seeing, what the politician is teaching me, I'm speaking for myself now, is that criminology pays. And the judiciary is supporting them in a way by collecting this court injunction that, court injunction this, high jurisdiction this, and high jurisdiction that. I rest my case.
Okay, so I guess he's trying to talk about defining stuff as criminality.
Yeah, you see, when people like us advocating for state policing, what it's all about is when you empower a state governor and he's able to secure his states, what you will see is when prosperity comes to that region, those of you that you are unable to govern your state, we all leave the place now and look for a more secure place where we can have our life better. Because what is really happening is that they seem not to have grip of some of the things that are actually happening within their jurisdiction. Even if it is not going to be state, we can go the route of the regional policing that they are talking about, but we need to step down the process. Enough of everybody going to Abuja and believing that's where their fate lies. If the IGP has not given an instruction to a CP, he may not even have obey the governor. When the governor is really under pressure to protect, the security that is meant for the people that are there. These days, you can't hold the state governors, accountable for anything. They will tell you that the instruction was indeed from Abuja. We had that problem here in Lagos. So that I feel that we will bring security closer to the people and we can engage our governors. Right. Don't let's look at the other side of it that they can misuse it.
Okay, all right. How about putting checks and balances anyway? Well, after this call, how about putting laws that will ensure that they don't misuse it? Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Yes, welcome, sir. Precious. Sir?
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
About this governors and the laws and what is happening in Nigeria. You see, the judges are to be blamed for this.
What's your name, sir? You didn't tell us your name, sir.
Okay, I'm Sonny by name, calling from Casablanca.
Go ahead, please.
So, the judges are to be blamed. Like I used to say in your program that to get Nigeria working again, it may likely take, if we continue this way, even in the next 5 centuries, we may not get it right. And not just, it's not that I'm losing faith in Nigeria, but considering what happened last year during the election, it was very glaring, it was very open to the blind that what happened. But at the end of the day, the judges played their prank. They played prank with all of us, and these guys in power have learned one thing. They have learned that Nigerians are so dozy and so weak. Nigerians prefer fighting among themselves than to fight, to join force and fight their oppressor for their rights. Let me use, for example, every parastatal, every agency, everything that Nigerian government and their associates are handling in Nigeria are built to oppress the common citizen. Those at power supplying companies, or I don't know, is it the distributing and all that? Those who are billing people, who are giving bills for people to pay. I don't know what they call it. Are they distributors or suppliers of power? I don't know how you call them. However, let me use them as an example. They go over billing people in a particular area, middle class or lower class, people who earn little. You bill them a outrageous amount of money, knowing that they can't afford it. In fact, if they have to pay this money, they will not be able to feed their children. They will not be able to send their children to school and all that. But you have to bill them this money, not because you supply them power, but because you want to extort them. Your master have given you a target that every month you have to remit some billion to me, either good or bad, I don't care. So you now need to make extra profit by extorting the poor masses. And when they talk, at the time they get angry, they revolt against you, you go and remove the light, which in fact they got a little few hours of light, maybe weekly or monthly. They got few hours. If they are to calculate it properly, it's very few hours. You go now and remove the light, daring them to do their worst. But in the same country, you cannot do that. You will face a lot of lawsuits You will pay until the company will fold. Someone will come and you go to court. But here they know that they have the judges. The judges are their puppets. The justice system are in their hand. They go and whine and deal with politicians. In other places, Madam Precious,
sir,
when you are a judge, a politician, a soldier, everybody fears you because they know that you hold the law. You only look at the law. You don't care what he is called, what she is called, the position they have served. It's not your problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
You only face the law.
Thank you.
They are for you.
Thank you. You've spoken for about 4 minutes. Thank you.
But when evil happened, the judges are the one they used to walk down. Like what happened? Look at a retired Supreme Court justice from Port Harcourt, I don't want to mention the name, said at the pre-election tribunal matter, when she was saying those who have lost, you go and they sit down.
Thank you so much. Apologies, I have to let you go because our time is fast spent. So let me quickly run through some of the WhatsApp messages and also do YouTube messages because there are lots of messages on YouTube. Precious White Danjuma should allow all Nigerians to breathe. This old man was chief of army staff under military and minister of defense in this same country, Nigeria, but failed to lay foundation for what we are going through today. Instead of him to be accomplished, he should first apologize to Nigerians for their failure to lay any foundation for security. No more food for our general against because we have real politicians as the president. Olu from Badagry sent in that message. Ganduje Obiano, Abdul Rashid Bawa, Abdul Rashid Maina, Isai Dangaba, Stella Odua, etc. Show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Precious Naira is raising against the dollar. Tales by Moonlight Narrator. You said a lot. I appreciate you. The real opposition, get real opposition and air and let them talk. Just watch. Please, everybody cannot be the same. Don't stop all those comparisons, please. Let people analyze according to what they believe. Please. All right, Precious, we don't have electricity here in Nigeria, but they've restored Niger electricity at the detriment of Nigerians. Precious, these are not the attribute of good leaders. Precious, we don't have leaders in this country. We actually have bad dealers. It's really shameful. Danjuma, don't keep quiet in the era of Buhari. Didn't keep quiet in the era of Buhari. He actually spoke up. Please get your facts right. Thank you. Yes. And then His Royal Highness BC Nwoko says, I just want to use this opportunity to encourage Mantunde in his quest to break the world record. It's a thing of joy. The Nigerian is portraying an image in a very positive light. Congratulations in advance. Wishing him all the best here too. Rooting for him big time. Who are these Nigerians? All these headsmen, they also make farmers not to go to farm again. Ebuka from Oshodi sent in that message. Precious Babeji from Oshodi says, thanking you for your great jobs. Precious, concerning the generalities of insecurity in the country, if we are to go with what late Sani Abacha said, that Nigeria should be demanding for explanation of all from both Nigeria and federal government, because I think they are involved, if not so, perhaps in pampering them that kill the oppressed and goes after those that are agitating for better leadership. Talking about what he said about if insecurity lasts more than 24 hours, that the government should be aware. Miss P, and I greet you, amazing guest. The APC supporter call you will not criticize your guest in the studio, but if it is Barrister on your Monday and Thursday show, Olu from Badagry will call you. Victor from Kinu sent in that message. I know many people who are afraid to come because of insecurity, no doubt about that. Speaking about diasporans coming back. Good evening, Precious. Please, when are you going to talk about Israel and Iran attack on Evening Rush? Plus, be giving us update on it, I beg. Okay. So you know that Israel is already responding, but the reason I really don't talk about this is that the brief of this show is looking at things that happen within Nigeria. This one is not affecting us where we're yet. That's what we're not talking about. If it's affecting us, we look at things as it affects Nigerians for now. All right, I appreciate you, but you know that there's already a response from Israel, right? The T.Y. Danjuma that is lamenting now at a point in the past worked for the cabal that is holding Nigeria hostage today, for he was adequately rewarded with oil well. He colluded with the cabal to kill his master Aguiyi Ironsi, only to lament later that the same people are colluding to massacre people in the south. I go to YouTube now, quite a couple of reactions there. And Nzayadi Inhuama says, very soon Fulanis will take over the families. He bought that land to stop Fulanis from over. I don't actually understand what you're talking. Carlo Davis says, call power. Do we have country that... Well, okay, Joey says, I'm just waiting for Precious to blame Peter Obi for everything wrong in this APC administration. They will not let me rest, sir. That's what they used to do to me here. Ola Adewale says, sir, Mr. Analyst, I think this is more what we think. More than what we think. That's what he's saying. And then this here says, fellow Nigerians. Okay, I'm trying to get this. Okay, and yeah, I wish I can get more. Okay, this says, most 711 says, this is nothing but voodoo economy. Chilled power, you did type a lot of things. I wish I can read all of them. Many Nigerians are just existing, not really living. I agree with you. So many people are just existing. Always be mindful of your mental health at this point. Please, I beg you people in Nigeria. Kalistus Ohaba says the dollar is coming down, but the price of commodities are still high. Exactly what the guest said. Quite a lot of other reactions. I know a friend who traveled to Nigeria from the US and she got kidnapped. She has been released, but she's been so traumatized. She swore never to come back to Nigeria again. Oh, wow. All right, Lagos, let's take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll go straight to our step down conversation. So, sir, on this part of the show, we have, a part of our show that we call the step down conversation. That's the part where we get to leave the problem of Nigeria alone. We'll wash our hands off it like Pontius Pilate, and we'll look at other issues.
It's a good one, I must say, Precious, because there are times that you just have to take off the whole problem.
Yes,
I look at the atmosphere where I don't want to discuss Nigeria issue, but you can't stop discussing.
We're inside. So when we discuss small in this place, we'll not discuss other matters too small.
The other matters are the one that
very well. So the other matters, do you believe that it is criminal or it is devilish to kneel down to propose to a woman?
It's not.
It's not? Okay, the pastor says it is, and he gives a backing to it. Lagos, that's that conversation that when we come back from the break. That's our step down conversation, Lagos. This is still the Evening Rush 90.3 Voice of the People FM. We will be right back.
You don't hear of real estate cashback? Chai! This one, Nagbeo. This one go guarantee you 30 to 70% return on investment within a very short time. When you invest for land or house from us, and the thing become your property for between 12 to 24 months, we go rebuy them from you. Then pay both capital and even interest where the property don't carry join body. This na real investment cashback. This one, na time for you to cash out from real estate business for this Obodo Naija. Check out. If you invest 500,000 to 100 million or above, you will get 30% profit for 12 months. And if na 18 months, you will get 50% profit. And if na 24 months, you will get 70% profit. No be the end, because your investment is very, very safe and secure with us. Yes, as you invest, you dey collect your post-dated check. Sharply. To get more information, office day for number 32C at Detola Aguda, Surulere, Lagos, or call 0803-879-9889. Website now www.richlandproperty.com.ng. Richland Property and Homes Limited, your gateway to a richer life.
Listen.
All right, Lagos, you are welcome back. It is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So welcome to the step down conversation. So it is a weekend, sorry, all the people that are expecting it here now, so I'm sorry for you people. We'll talk about that one in another time. But take a listen to this audio and what this man of God has to say about those who kneel down. In case you knelt down to propose to your wife, hey, you may need to hear this because it's a very important information. Take a listen.
It was from scripture that I saw that kneeling down to propose was satanic. Most people think it's romantic. Go into the house and propose. Either find the wife, find the good thing, and obtain it. What are you bringing to social media for? Must everything be on social media? People now kneel down to propose. How can the Lord kneel down to propose to a subject? It's like they say they want to ordain the king of this country, but they say the king will lie down. The Lord over the woman is now kneeling down to propose to the woman, and tomorrow he wants to be Lord over her. It doesn't work. What we think is romantic is Satan orchestrating our downfall. Marriages are failing because women are now thinking men are not romantic. But please, can you show me anywhere in the scripture, this romance that we talk now, that we read, anybody in the entire scripture, including Jesus, who was romantic? Sarah called Abraham Lord. Was that romantic? My Lord. It was not. The Proverbs 31 woman is not the one who lies down on the man's head. He's the one who watches over the house while the man is doing the work of God outside. All this we have been since. It's satanical. He said we shouldn't add to the truth nor subtract from the truth. Let's put the spade is spade. All this nonsense. That's why women are thinking that marriage is purpose. Discover purpose so that when you marry, purpose will align. You don't have where you are going. That's why you are looking for romance. Because if you have purpose and I have purpose and we are both running with purpose, you will discover that we are fulfilling destiny.
Yes, so that's our step down conversation. So that it is, listen to that first statement again. For those that did not hear it, let's take another listen to it. Oh, okay. So he said that it was in the scripture that he saw that kneeling down to propose to a woman is satanic. Okay. So, Mr. Sheson, let me let you talk before I respond as a woman.
Yeah, well, let me say this, Precious. The scripture is quoting the way and manner several people interpret it is based on the way they are looking at it. It's always two sides of the coin. The same scripture, you hear someone quote, I will give them the interpretation. You see, when it comes to kneeling down to propose to him, it's about you. Let me put it that way, but I will not go the route to say it's satanic and it's belittling you as an individual. Whether you consider that as romantic or not, it's about you. There are better ways. I will state here, I did not kneel down to propose, but I think I did it in a way that my woman actually adored me and appreciated it.
How was that? Will you share? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I was actually, we both stood, looking at each other's face. And I'm like, I didn't even say close your eyes. So we say close your eyes, I want to give you something. No. We're talking at that particular place where I asked her to actually meet me. And I brought out something from my suit. I was working in the bank. And I brought it out. Babe, I want to marry you.
You did not even beg. You just say, I want to marry you. You Nigerian men are romance. You beg now.
Beg.
You go beg now.
People,
they go say, please, will you marry me? Please, will you take the long walk with me? You be romantic, small. Oh,
Precious,
Nigeria phone lines are open.
Ain't go beg me, say make I take care of him. Ain't go beg me, say my dear, please, will you take care of me?
Okay, so women, do you believe that men, while I'm asking the men that, do you think that kneeling down to propose a woman is demonic, right? But I'll rather ask the women, do you think that men who do not kneel down to propose to you are not romantic? Because that's what lots of women would think. Okay, try for that one. Accounting now you do. You go the count money. If you would have just, do something. So rishi. We'll be doing on 4 lines are open Lagos 0700-903-903 0817-175-6338. Hello, good evening. Sorry, you come back to that third. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Precious.
Jova, step down. You're welcome.
Yes, so
yes.
Mr. Shesa, I just got to know your name. Good evening.
Good evening.
See, Precious.
Sir?
My name is Jova.
Romantic.
My name is Jova. Let me go ahead.
Jova, romantic. Step down. Go ahead.
See, it doesn't. See, I cannot believe that the pastor just said it is demonic, and he didn't give us the exact place where it is written in the Bible that you should not kneel to propose. Did I hear that? No, I did not. Then, I want to correct something here. It is the woman that marries the man, not the man that marries the woman. That's why the question must be, will you marry me? Not, I want to marry you. If you say you want to marry and the woman says no, what will you do? Mr. Sheson, please, will you force her to marry you? So it is the woman that marries the man. If you look at the cards that are printed, it's written that for all due respect, P wants to marry A. Not that A is marrying P. The woman's name will come first. So no matter who you are at that point in time, the Bible said Adam saw the bone of her bone and flesh of her flesh, and he marveled. It's not about the way the pastor is putting it. It looks like one person is higher than the other person.
I did not hear that you cannot kneel down to your subject. A woman you want to lord over. Should I play it again
Precious,
for you, sir?
Precious, where did the word subject and Lord come from?
Lord. It is. It says Sarah called Abraham Lord. Oh, brother, you want me to wire it
Sarah
again
was
for
already Precious. Sarah was already in Abraham.
In Abraham's house. Now when he called him Lord.
Not when Abraham was still looking for Sarah.
But because you know that this woman will be somebody who will call you potential Lord, so you should not need that and be proposing.
But do you know most of the time that you think that they will call you, if you don't act that way, you will ask to be called Lord.
You have to beg first, precious, when you are buying something from, picking something that you love.
Why
the Bible said if you see a field that is full of wisdom, you sell everything you have to go and buy.
Why are you doing like
you have to beg.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Well, let me leave you to go. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. So I'm going to play that again for those who did not hear when he said that from the beginning.
It was from scripture that I saw that kneeling down to propose was satanic. Most people think it's romantic. Go into the house and propose. Either find the wife, find the good thing, and alternative way. What are you bringing to social media for? Must everything be on social media? People now kneel down to propose. How can the Lord kneel down to propose a subject?
Okay. It has do. How can the Lord kneel down to propose to his subject?
Who is the subject?
The wife now. She's a subject. Because she calls the husband Lord.
What we think is romantic.
Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening to you, please. Apologies. Good evening. Are you there?
My name is Davinda.
Your name is what?
We're about to tell
Hello? Unfortunately, I can't hear you. All right, so let me go take some messages. Should I or probably take a few more calls? Hello, good evening. Hello? Sir?
Good evening.
Prince Akwachi, you're welcome. Good evening. Welcome.
Yes, and good evening to the guests.
Good evening, sir.
I know we are on the what they call a step down. That's fine. Pretty much, one thing with would I say African pastors is that most of them become pastors for self-enrichment, financial enrichment, and just to show off. Forgetting that the same scripture that he's quoting is the same scripture that said, "Do not add or subtract from my word." The same scripture, the same Bible that says that. Except he's telling me that the scripture is different from Bible. And then another thing that happens is this. You see, when they give me feet to always project themselves as if they are above the people that they are supposed to preach to. Salvation. Is that salvation that he's preaching right now?
And the
Bible says to the husband, love your wife. It did not say be Lord over your wife. He said love your wife.
But Prince Akwachi, did Sarah call Abraham Lord?
That's the pet's name.
Okay, even my wife today, because they married. Even today in my household, I'm being referred to as the king. I'm the Lord in my house, which is fine. But when I propose to my wife, yes, I knelt down. And it's not demonic. It's not demonic. That pastor do not know more than me. For Christ's sake. The same way another pastor now is saying that what do you call it? Having a malaria inoculation is also demonic. Everything is demonic to them. For Christ's sake, they can just go to mass and live in the mass.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Prince Akwachi, no vex now. No vex. Sorry. All right, you were trying to say something, so let me let you ease that thoughts.
What I was trying to say is that you see, the way and manner we perceive some of this interpretation, you determine what you want. We live our life most of the time based on the people out there. Some people would decide to be romantic and kneel down, some would not. And you see, the one is referring to that Lord and subject. Who becomes the subject if you are more financially buoyant than your husband? Which is happening? Who is now the Lord?
In the Bible, is the man that remains the Lord.
Is the man that remains the Lord.
You're forgetting our African tradition, especially in Africa.
Leave that thing. Hunger go wire your head. You go no say you have to just make yourself. You will become the subject while she becomes the Lord. What determines some of those things? But if you are the type that show love, I mean love to yours, even when she has more than what you have in her possession, she will give everything to you. That we are one. So this Lord and subject, if you want to take it to the other side, it's about person who get money.
That one another angle. Hello, good evening. Good evening. You're welcome. What's your name, sir?
this.
Please help me increase the volume of your voice. Give your voice a less more.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Go ahead.
So I think this our religious leaders, they are the ones who lead the people, because I don't see. I think you don't even know what subject means, because if you know what subject means, subject means nothing. How can you call a human being a subject? So I don't think what is saying.
All right. Thank you. Your line is really bad. Thank you. Your line is really bad, so I can't really hear you well. Yusuf from Ijegu says, good evening, VOP. Kneeling down to propose to a woman is not devilish, but not our culture. This pastor was asking what we're doing on social media when God says that he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. My question to Madam Precious and this pastor, was there social media when God says this? Why won't we find a wife on social media when they're asking what we're doing on social media?
And asking where is he promoting that word that is actually saying?
Is it not still the same social media?
Is it not the same social media?
Hello, good evening to you. Help us turn up the volume of your radio set, please. Hello.
I'm very lucky. I just died once and got you.
Congratulations. What happened today? Well done.
I'm Mr. Ben.
Mr. Ben, you're welcome. It's been a long time. Welcome. From Iba, right?
It is difficult to get you.
Sorry. No,
I need to listen to you every day. You are doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, see, that man was that pastor was too rash to mention the money.
Why all of you against him like this now?
You see the case of Jacob. You see the case of Jacob and Rebecca. Jacob served his in-law for good 14 years just to marry that woman. Do you understand? For good, he served 7 years. They gave him the one that has a 4 o'clock eye. He came back and served another 7 years again and got a new one. So he was a servant again. His in-laws are just to marry. Do you understand? So anything you do to get a good wife is not bad. It's not the thing. You understand?
Thank you.
And when you live with your wife, you can now set up a standard. The woman knows her position. So you give the women the honor. Women deserve all the honor. Because what women go through, what they go through is unspeakable.
Stop it. We like it.
For a woman, a wife you love, you want to marry, it's not too much.
Thank
it's
you.
Not the money.
Thank you.
I tell you, even if you need her to pay your wife, you're sorry. It's not bad. It's not the money.
Thank you. Oh, I'm not sure you people are African men. No. How can you people be saying this kind of thing you're saying? Are you sure your Africanness is still inside of you?
We are core African men.
Thank you. Kenneth Chico from First Tag says, kneeling down in public to propose to your fiancé is an eye service to me. If you really want to do it in private. Do it in a private place or in your house. Don't do it in a bar or express that kind of feeling in public. Precious, all these preach that the Bible, the way they understand it, and that is people just preach the Bible the way they understand it. From Ajawa State. Precious, it's not demonic. These pastors should stop turning the Bible upside down. If a guy likes, he can prostrate to propose to his wife. Let the pastors preach salvation and forget about all these other issues. The Bible says that time shall come when 7 women shall run. Time shall come.
Finish.
When 7 women shall run to one man and beg him to marry them. Master, we need to be your wife. Should I kneel down and beg them? I'm gonna be for so. Just like Portable is calling out his different baby mamas one by one now. So they should all, because they are plenty coming after you, so you cannot kneel down and beg them to marry you.
At that point, it's not that you're actually proposing.
But he's wifing them.
You are not proposing. At that point, they are the one running after you. Don't need to beg. But when you want, you see, if you have asked the man you made mention of, ask Portable, he will tell you one that he actually, showed that passion. Leave all that baby mama. There is one out of several. There are levels you get to. They will be the one running after you, but there will always be one that it's you
showed that affection.
In fact, when she coughs, you understand the language.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Ikena from Ilasamaja says, this is why I'm in love with that man called Peter Udechi, who has been condemning the act of men kneeling down to propose to a woman. Tofiakwa. Listen to Peter Udechi. He has said it all, but it's not demonic anyway, according to the pastor. Peter Udechi had been against that from time. He said it's not African. Now, why will a man kneel then to propose to his wife? Now, that's not a thing. That pastor church members don't see shege. He said the pastor church members don't see shege. Victor from Kenu sent in that. Adeyemi Kanuru from Festac says Nigeria will only progress if Nigeria pay their taxes instead of paying tithes to churches and men of God. And he says, good evening, precious. I'm among those you gave the rice man number from in Ijishaga. I called the man that sell rice at Ijishaga, and I can say categorically that a bag of rice is 55k. Have been calling, but you're not picking. Are you serious? I want to buy. The bag of rice is 55k in Ijishaga. Oh, wow. Awesome. So did you hear it? Yes, I remember. I see the message here too, the trail of message when I sent you his number. Oh, wow. Good evening, precious rice. That I called the man that sell rice in Ijishaga, and I can say categorically that the bag of rice is 55k. I've been calling you, not picking. Apologies. But did you buy? Did you buy and pay 55,000 to collect it? That's my concern, because the price that they tell you on phone may be different from when you pay money to collect it.
No, I think the thing is actually coming someone told me that the foreign rice is 55, like they said, and I think the local rice is about 49,500.
That would be awesome. That's
I have that actually, but those market women came to mention that to me. At least one of them called as Asheson or as in what you're saying, we are feeling the impact. Rice has actually dropped.
That's nice. That's nice. All right, a few more messages here. The woman is subject to her husband according to scriptures. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman God said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. He put it in capital letter. Moreover, this issue of kneeling to propose is not African culture. Bottom line, you support the pastor. I don't care about that so-called man has to say, would kneeling down to propose make the marriage better? To me, it's rubbish, especially those who do it in public. It's nonsense. If it was awesome who are kneeling down for men, if it was women who are kneeling down for men, feminists and their members would make it about gender, saying why would a woman kneel down and be subjected to slavery? But generally, kneeling down is rubbish. That's what you say, right? I appreciate that fact. Hi, Madam Precious, that a man kneels down to propose to his woman to marry him doesn't mean he's begging her. It means he has respect and honor for her. And then the woman says, I didn't buy because I can't afford the money for now, but a man is willing to sell for me. He even gave me 5,000 naira discount, therefore he's willing to sell for me. Oh wow, thank you so much. All right, just a few more calls and we'll wrap up. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. All right, yeah, Precious, I saw you. I saw you stand up. You are hot. Leave me, Joe. Thank you. All right, and then this message here says, I had they sealed one supermarket in Abuja because they're selling their goods in a high price. I told Mr. Sheson that's already going out by the FCCPC. Ibuka from Moshe sent in that. Ibuka, that's correct. A man's attempt to engage his girlfriend while standing was met with serious resistance from the lady who insisted to propose to her kneeling down. Yeah, I saw that. So he was trying to propose to his girlfriend. She said, kneel down. Oga, kneel down. You have to kneel down to propose to me. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, person.
Sir? Welcome. What's your name, sir?
My name is Onyebuchi from Okokomaiko.
Onyebuchi, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Precisely, I'm only calling in relation to the price of rice.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if you come to Igwele Junction, after Okokomaiko bus stop, you know, people do the firework business. People bringing rice directly from Cotonou.
Yes.
The bag of rice now is 52,000.
52,000 now.
I am telling you authoritatively.
Oh, this is awesome.
So I have rice in my house, but I'm telling you, it is reliable, it's real, coming down. 52,000. At the bus stop.
Thank you. Find me contacts now. Find me number now. Find us number now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. All right. I appreciate everyone who sent in their messages. Thank you so much. Real men propose with pregnancy and not kneeling the real men give benefit. No, you guys. I'm more before 7 and 8. I don't know I'm before. See your eye clear at all. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of the show. And then to the person who said yes, this message says it's 109 billion naira, the account and general money, no 109 million. I think I had mistakenly said 109. How can I leave the billion and say million? That's a false statement. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of the show. Mr. Chesson, would you mind just in few seconds, 10, 15 if possible, your parting shots?
Yeah, thank you very much. What I want to leave with our listeners this evening is to try as much as possible to preserve your mental health. It's very fundamental at this point in time. Show love to everyone that is around you at this point. And when you see something, say something, and Nigeria will be better off.
Thank you so much. Say something. Lagos, my name is Precious A. This show has been produced by Promise. You can catch her on Instagram at Promise Enyi Official. On Facebook, she's at Promise Enyi. On Twitter, she's at Promise Enyi, I guess so. My name is Precious Enyi. And of course, on Instagram, I'm at Precious Enyi Official. On Twitter, I'm at Precious_Enyi. On, where do they call it now? YouTube, I'm at Precious Enyi TV. Precious ENYI TV on YouTube. You know, I love you, right? Whatever you do, protect your mental health, like Mr. Sheso says. I like to say that to you. I love you guys. I'll see you again on Monday, hopefully. Have yourself an amazing weekend. Good night.